Okay, so we are having our mock tomorrow, as we've said before. It's going to come to you a little bit differently, so please watch for the directions and listen to what I tell y'all to do. As for review, this is the 2017 STAAR. We're going to go through it. So this video is long. You don't have to take notes. Just work out the problems. Okay? Pay attention. This is just for your benefit. Okay? I will ask you a few questions that you'll have to answer, but for the most part, it's just review. Amber saved a total of $3.20 over 5 weeks. She saved the same amount of money each week. How much money did Amber save each week? Well, she saved a total of $3.20, okay, for 5 weeks. All right, so when we have a total, we're either going to subtract or divide. So in this case, we're going to divide because we're looking at how many did she have each week. So 3.20 divided by 5. Remember, we bring the decimal to the top. 5 cannot go into 3, but it can go into 32. Okay, 6 times 5 is 30. Subtract and you get 2 left. Bring down your 0. And then 5 will go into 20 4 times. Okay, that's one way to do it. The other way, if you know that you're going to have to divide, you can take each one of your answer choices and multiply it by 5. And see which one gives you $3.20. Okay, so you can work backwards using your answer choices. All right, this is a comparing problem. Which symbol makes this comparison true? Remember we talked about comparison? All you have to do is move your problem over. Remember, we want to line up the decimals. So, and the place values, 13.068. And then you start comparing from the farthest side to the left. Those are both 1, both 3. 6 and 0 are not the same. 6 is the biggest number, so that means it would be this symbol, which is less than. Okay? Remember, when we're comparing, you line them up. Okay, this one, number 3. Emily has a box shaped like a rectangular prism. Okay, this is what we've just talked about this last week. That is full of sugar cubes. So if the prism is full of sugar cubes, that means if they're all going inside, so that means you're taking up space. So this is a volume question. So I know that it's going to be length times width times height. Okay, it says each sugar cube has a volume of 1 cubic centimeter. The top layer has a width of 6 centimeters and length of 11 centimeters. There are 3 layers of sugar cubes. So I know that the width is 6 and the length is 11. So right now I know 11 times 6, right? All right. And then it says there are 3 layers. Well, layers are stacks, right, on top of each other. These are layers. So if there's 3 layers of sugar cubes, it is 3 high. So 11 times 6 times 3. All right, so remember, order of operation, you work from left to right, and you can't multiply 3 numbers at a time. So we start with the first 2. 11 times 6 is 66. And then 66 times 3. So then you come down and solve. 6 times 3 is 18. 6 times 3 is 18 plus 1 is 19. So there is 198 sugar cubes. Okay, so that's a volume question. All right, length times width times height. Number 4. The shaded part of the model represents a fraction. Another fraction was subtracted from the first fraction. Which expression does the model represent? All right, so it says the shaded part of the model is a fraction. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 shaded. 12, 13, 14, 15 out of 15. And think back to what we talked about when we talked about fractions, and I said you have to be able to visualize this in a separate way. So look at that and look at the X's. Okay, it's not marking out 6. It's marking out the whole column. So I've got 2 columns marked out of 3, 4, 5 total columns. Okay, y'all remember that? It's all about representation. So 11/15 minus 1/6, I'm not sure where you would get 1 out of 6. So that one would have been bad. 6 out of 12. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 out of 12. 6 maybe, but it was 11 out of 15. So this one should have been one that you just said no to anyways. Same thing with H. It says 6/15. So the only way to get 6 is if you looked at the ones that were X'd out, which would have been wrong. Okay? So it would have been J. All right, let's keep going because I don't want this video to be too long. All right, this is an input-output table of sorts. It says, and we haven't gotten to these yet, so I understand that. The relationship between numbers in list X and list Y follows the rule Y equals X plus 2.05. Which diagram shows this relationship? So what they're saying is Y equals X plus 2.05. So this X, I'm going to add 2.05 to each one of these. And I'm going to see which one equals Y. So if I add this and this is a possibility, isn't it? 29 plus 2, 31 is a possibility. 31 plus 2, 33 is not really a possibility, but it does go up, right? But 31 plus 2.05 is not going to go backwards to 21. So that was the one I could eliminate. All right, so let's do 29 and 1/10. And then we have to line our decimal up when we add, right? Make sure you're lining up that decimal and then filling in the holes. 0 plus 5 is 5. Bring down the 1 decimal. 9 plus 2 is 11. And 2 plus 1 is 3. So 29 and 1/10, which is what A and C both had. When I added the 2 and 5/100ths, I got 31 and 15/100ths. So that means my answer would have been C. Okay. All right, number 6. A rectangular billboard is 9 35/100 meters wide and 6 82/100 meters tall. What is the perimeter of the billboard? Okay, so we're looking for perimeter on this one. So if you think back to perimeter and, what you learned last year, perimeter equals 2 times the length plus 2 times the width. You can also say perimeter equals side plus side plus side plus side, right? Remember with perimeter, all you do is you're adding up the numbers that go around, right? So I'm going to draw my picture to help me out so I don't mess up anything. So there's my rectangular billboard. It is 9 35/100 meters wide, okay, and 6 82/100 meters long or tall. Okay, so here's the problem. Here's what usually happens with this problem, and it happened with the face-to-face kids. They just added these 2 numbers because they didn't draw the picture. Okay, I know on a rectangle, if this is 9.35, this side has to be 9.35, right? And if this is 6.82, this has to be 6.82. Okay, so make sure that you do that all the way through. All right, so we're going to say the length is 9.35, so I'm going to do it 2 times L plus 2 times W. So 9.35 times 2. 5 times 2 is 10. 3 times 2 is 6 plus 1 is 7. And 9 times 2 is 18. Okay, remember with the decimal, I have 1 decimal with 2 numbers behind it. So in my answer, I have to have 2 places in my decimal, or in my answer. So 2 times 9.35 plus 2 times 6.82. So I did 2 times 9.35, and I got 18.70. And now I have to multiply 2 times 6 and 82 hundredths.